I never thought clipping coupons could unravel a life. But that's exactly what happened the night my sister, Rebecca, laughed in my face and called me the family charity case. She was perched on the edge of our mom's antique velvet couch in that stuffy Cleveland suburb house we'd grown up in. Her designer heels kicked off like she owned the place, which, in a way, she did now. Lucy, seriously? You're 32 and still playing housewife with those dollar store hacks? No wonder Mom left everything to me. Her words sliced deeper than the kitchen knife I'd used to chop veggies for the dinner I was slaving over. The one she'd shown up uninvited to celebrate her latest real estate closing. But what she didn't know, what I'd buried for 8 years, was that her empire was built on my silence. My sacrifice. The felony I took the rap for so she could sip rose at rooftop parties instead of rotting in a cell. It started with a whisper in the dark. Back when we were kids scraping by in that Rust Belt neighborhood where Dad's steel mill shifts paid for ramen and regret. Rebecca was always the golden girl, cheer captain, debate team star, the one who'd flash that megawatt smile and get teachers to bend rules. I was the shadow, the one with the thrift store jeans and the library books, dreaming of community college while she eyed Ivy League brochures. But blood's thicker than ambition. Or so I told myself when she came to me that humid July night in 2017, tears streaming black mascara down her porcelain cheeks. Lucy, I fucked up. Big time. She'd been interning at that sleazy downtown firm. The kind that laundered consulting fees for half the city's crooked developers. A client, some oily bastard named Harlan Crow, had her forge a signature on a land deed. Not just any deed, one that flipped a condemned factory into prime condos, pocketing millions while displacing families who'd lived there for generations. When the auditors came sniffing, Rebecca panicked. She begged me to sign a backdated affidavit, claiming I'd witnessed the whole thing legit. You're good with details?
Luce.
No one suspects the quiet one. I was 24, fresh out of a dead-end admin job, trusting her like the sister who'd braided my hair and shared secrets under the covers. So I did it. Signed my name to the lie that became her ladder. The fallout hit like a Midwest blizzard. Federal investigators raided the office 6 months later. Headlines screaming corruption in the heartland. Rebecca played the victim card, wide-eyed in turn, manipulated by the big boys, testifying tearfully in a skirt suit that cost more than my rent. She walked with a slap on the wrist. Community service? A fine she charmed away with Daddy's old golf buddies on the city council.
Me?
They pinned the affidavit as the linchpin, the knowing accomplice who'd greased the wheels. I got 18 months in county lockup, a felony record that turned job interviews into pity parties, and a parole officer who smelled like stale coffee and suspicion. Mom, dying of the cancer that ate her from the inside, whispered on her deathbed, "Protect the family, Lucy." Always. She thought I was covering for Dad's ghost debts, not my sister's sins. Rebecca visited once, in that sterile visiting room, dropping a Hallmark card and a promise. "I'll make it right,
Sis.
you'll see." Then she vanished into her new life, posting Instagram reels from Miami getaways while I clipped coupons to afford bus fare to temp gigs. Fast forward to now, December 2025. And here we were, back in Mom's house after her estate reading. The lawyer had droned on about the will, modest savings, the house in Rebecca's name because she's the responsible one, while I nodded like a bobblehead, my thrift store blouse itching against my skin. Dinner was my olive branch, pot roast slow-cooked with carrots from the discount bin, mashed potatoes fluffed just right. Rebecca arrived late. Traffic from her lakefront condo, air-kissing the empty chairs like we had an audience. Smells. Homie, she said, wrinkling her nose at the Formica table. That's when the coupons spilled from my purse, flyers for half-off ground beef. Buy one get one, on generic wine. She snatched one, holding it up like Exhibit A in her mock trial.
Oh.
Lucy. Still pinching pennies? Remember that time in high school when you tried to trade coupons for a prom dress? Pathetic. Laughter bubbled out of her, sharp as shattered glass, echoing off the faded wallpaper. The room's tone shifted then, not with thunder, but a slow poison seeping in. I felt it in my chest, that old scar tissue tightening.
Pathetic?
She'd built her brokerage firm on blood money, flipping foreclosed homes to desperate millennials. Her ethical investments, hiding kickbacks from the same networks that got her off scot-free. I didn't snap. Not yet. Instead, I smiled, the kind that's all teeth and no warmth, and pulled out my phone. You want to see a deal? Becca? The one that changes everything. Her eyes lit with that predatory gleam, the one she'd honed in boardrooms, expecting some viral TikTok hack. I tapped open the encrypted drive I'd nursed like a secret lover for years, files copied from her old laptop during that one girl's weekend she threw me as guilt payback. Screenshots of emails, her to Harlan. Affidavit secured, sisters a gem. Bank transfers rerouted through my dormant accounts to muddy the trail. Audio clips from voicemails she'd left in a panic. Luce, if this blows, you're the only one who knows. Burn it all. The room went still as I hit play, her voice crackling through the tinny speaker, raw and unfiltered. Holy shit, she breathed, wine glass trembling. You kept that. I leaned in, voice low, like the winter wind rattling the panes. Every receipt, every lie.
And tonight?
I'm cashing in. What followed wasn't fireworks, it was a slow burn. The kind that chars from the inside out. Rebecca tried deflection first, classic her, pouring another glass, sloshing red across the tablecloth like accidental blood. This is ancient history.
Luce.
Water under the bridge. Mom wouldn't want us fighting, but her eyes darted to the door, calculating escape routes, the way she had in that deposition when the prosecutor leaned too close. I laid it out plain. The statute of limitations on her fraud had lapsed.
Sure.
But obstruction of justice? Perjury? Those tentacles reached further. Especially with the feds circling Cleveland's latest graft scandal, Harlan Crow back in the game, whispering her name in plea deals. One email to the tip line, I said, and your firm's stock plummets. Your husband? The one who thinks you're the self-made queen? He'll bolt faster than you did after my sentencing. She laughed then. A brutal thing. But I saw the crack, the way her manicure dug into her palm. Blackmail?
From you?
The coupon queen. It was meant to sting. But it fueled me. This wasn't about money, it was reclamation. The years I'd lost to night shifts at the warehouse, dodging catcalls and counting pills to sleep off the prison echoes. The dates that ghosted when my record hit Google. The mirror that showed a woman who'd faded while she bloomed. By midnight, the pot roast congealed untouched, and we'd circled each other like wary cats. She offered a buyout, 50 grand wired by dawn. For old time's sake, I countered with the house. Title in my name, no questions. And a public mea culpa, I added, at Mom's grave. Tell the stone what you told me that night. Her face twisted rage, then pity. The actress flipping masks. You're broken, Lucy. That place. It hardened you. This revenge fantasy? It's sad.
Sad?
I almost laughed. Sad was her texting me from Paris honeymoons. Wish you were here next time, while I vacuumed offices for minimum wage. But doubt flickered. Unbidden. Was I the villain now? Twisting her gilded cage? Mom's voice echoed. Protect the family. Rebecca was family. Twisted as she was. Yet as she stormed out, tires screeching on the icy drive, I felt the first thrill of power. Dark and electric. Like flipping a breaker in a blackout. The next morning, Cleveland woke under a slate-gray sky. The kind that presses down like judgment. My phone buzzed with voicemails, Rebecca's lawyer. All silk threats and NDAs. I deleted them, brewed coffee from the discount grounds, and started digging deeper. The files weren't just relics, they'd grown roots. Harlan Crow, that silver-haired shark, had mentored Rebecca post-scandal, funneling her clients through shell LLCs. One email chain caught my eye, her pitching a legacy project to him last spring, a waterfront redevelopment that'd gentrify the old neighborhood, pricing out the folks who'd raised us. Mom's church, the corner store where I'd bought my first candy bar, they'd be rubble for her high-rises. And there, buried in the metadata, a bombshell, my parole file.
Tampered with.
She'd paid a fixer to enhance my record, ensuring no appeals, no fresh starts. It wasn't just betrayal, it was erasure. I drove to the library that afternoon, the free Wi-Fi haven where I'd rebuilt my life in whispers. Anonymized searches led to forums, whistleblower threads on Harlan's empire, whispers of a class action brewing from displaced tenants. One name popped, Elena Vasquez, a single mom evicted from one of Rebecca's flips.
Now organizing protests downtown.
I reached out via a burner email, attaching redacted proofs. Your sister's dirty laundry could wash clean your block, I wrote. Elena replied within hours. Meet me. Coffee on me. We huddled in a dive off Euclid Avenue. Her eyes sharp as broken bottles, tattoos peeking from her flannel. You the ghost from the forum? Lucy. Right. She knew my name, my story was legend in those circles. The fall girl who'd vanished. As I spilled the beans, her nod was grim solidarity. Revenge ain't pretty, but justice? That's communal. By dusk, I'd signed on, not as avenger,
but ally.
Petitions circulated. Headlines brewed. Developer dynasty crumbles? Rebecca struck back swift. That night, my landlord, a greasy palm always out, knocked with an eviction notice. Lease violation. Unauthorized guests. Bullshit. Elena's car had idled too long. Then the calls. Debt collectors for loans I'd never taken. My bank freezing accounts on fraud alerts. She was flipping the script, painting me the unstable ex-con harassing her successful life. A wellness check from CPD showed up at dawn. 2 board uniforms grilling me on family disputes. Your sister's worried.
Mom.
Says you're off your meds. I laughed in their faces. But inside, the noose tightened. Paranoia set in, shadows in the alley. Texts from unknowns. Drop it or drown. Yet each jab honed me sharper. I countered with leaks. Anonymous drops to the plain dealer. Tips on Harlan's offshore slush funds tied to Rebecca's bonuses. The paper bit. Front page tease. Rust Belt royalty or racket? Weeks blurred into a tense standoff. Cleveland's winter biting harder than the betrayals. Christmas came ghostly, me stringing dollar store lights alone, toasting Mom's photo with box wine. Rebecca's holiday card arrived, glossy and insincere, family portrait with her hubby and their labradoodle. Inscription reading, forgive and forget?
Love. Bex.
I burned it in the sink. flames licking the porcelain like accusations. But cracks showed in her armor, social media scrubbed of deals. Her firm hemorrhaging clients as rumors festered. Harlan called her out in a leaked board memo. Clean house or sink the ship, and she blamed me in a frantic voice-to-text. You win. Lucy. Meet at the house. Truce. I went. Cautious as a cat in traffic, pepper spray tucked in my coat. The old place looked haunted under hoarfrost, porch light flickering like a dying pulse. Rebecca waited inside. Fire crackling. A bottle of the good scotch, Dad's vintage, open on the sideboard. No smugness now. Her face was gaunt, Botox failing against the strain. Sit, she said, voice raw. This ends tonight. She poured doubles, clinking glasses with trembling hands. I was scared.
Luce.
That girl in the office? She died when they came for us. I had to survive. Sob story supreme. But her eyes, those chameleon orbs, held no remorse. Just calculation. As she spun her tale of systemic pressures, I saw the flip, the hand slipping toward her phone, no doubt speed dialing her PI. I let her ramble, nodding, until the hook. Survival's a choice. Becca. I chose family, you chose the firm.
Then,
casual as clipping a deal, I slid across the table the crown jewel, a USB drive, labeled insurance. Not just files, recordings from Elena's network, affidavits from ex-employees, even a whistleblower video of Harlan coaching Rebecca on the deed forgery, timestamped preemie. Her gasp was theatrical, but real terror flashed. What do you want? Everything? The house. The money, take it. I leaned back, savoring the reversal.
Nah.
I want you to feel it. The fall. That's when I hit send on my phone, blasting the full dossier to Elena's group. CC'd to every major outlet from the Beacon Journal to ProPublica. Live links. Unredacted. Her empire didn't crumble. It imploded. Sirens wailed distantly as feeds lit up. Becky bus trending. Protesters chanting outside her condo. She lunged, nails raking my arm, but I was done playing victim. Get out, I whispered, before they come for you like they did me. She didn't go quietly. Rebecca's final act was a masterstroke of spite, a suicide note, drafted on her letterhead, emailed to me and the cops. Lucy's lies pushed me over. The files? Forgeries from her prison grudge. It painted me the monster, unhinged sister, fabricating scandals for inheritance scraps. The wellness check became an arrest attempt. I barricaded in Mom's bedroom, phone dying as reporters swarmed the lawn. Elena got me out through the back, her truck rumbling away as flashbulbs popped. You did good, Lucy. Truth's out now.
But was it?
Harlan lawyered up. Spinning countersuits, Rebecca checked into a wellness retreat in Arizona, emerging weeks later with a tell-all book deal, Betrayed by Blood, a survivor's story. The twist hit like a gut punch during my own deposition. Months later, under fluorescent hell in a federal courthouse. Prosecutors slid across photos, not of deeds, but us as kids, me shielding Rebecca from Dad's belt, her giggling behind me at schoolyard bullies. Then the real bomb, Mom's will, contested. Turns out, she'd known, eavesdropped on that July confession, seen the affidavit in my purse. Her bequest to Rebecca? A poison pill, contingent on making it right. Rebecca hadn't. She'd forged Mom's codicil, bumping me to zero. The betrayal looped back, my sacrifice for a sister who'd sacrificed me twice. But in the files, buried deepest, was Mom's letter to me. Unsealed now. Lucy, if you're reading this, forgive her. Or don't. But live free. I walked out into spring rain. Charges dropped. Harlan indicted solo. Rebecca's firm folded. She pivoted to advocacy, podcasting on corporate trauma from a beachside villa, his money, not hers.
Me?
I sold the house, bought a fixer-upper downtown, started a co-op for evictees, clipping deals on lumber, turning ruins to homes. The room's tone changed forever that night, from mockery to reckoning. But as I watch her TED Talk clips, voice honeyed with half-truths, I wonder, did I avenge or just trade places? Hero or haunt? You decide. Family's the ultimate con, love laced with lies. And in America, the house always wins. The aftermath stretched like Ohio asphalt, endless and pitted with regrets I couldn't quite smooth over. Elena's co-op became my anchor, nailing drywall with hammers that echoed like therapy, teaching displaced families how to spot predatory leases amid the sawdust and small victories. You're the blueprint, Lucy, she'd say, handing me a thermos of diner coffee, her laugh cutting through the grind. But nights alone in my creaky bungalow, the files haunted me, ghosts and gigabytes. Rebecca's voice looping. You're the only one who knows. I knew too much now. And it itched like an unpaid bill. Harlan's trial loomed summer 26, a circus of suits and subpoenas, with me as star witness. The DA prepped me gentle. Stick to facts. Yes. Hargrove. No grudges. Easy for him, his world's black and white. Mine smeared gray, with sisterly blood. Rebecca resurfaced Memorial Day weekend, unannounced as a summer squall. My doorbell buzzed insistent. And there she was on the stoop, sundress billowing, oversized shades hiding puffy eyes. Truce olive branch. She thrust a bakery box, cupcakes from that fancy place in Shaker Heights, vanilla with buttercream swirls. I almost slammed the door. Instead, I stepped aside, the air thick with unsaid indictments. She breezed in, appraising the half-painted walls like a flipper eyeing profit margins. Cute starter home. Very.
You.
The dig landed soft, but it stung, reminder of the life she'd stolen. One quip at a time. We sat at my thrift shop table, cupcakes untouched, her peeling the liner like it held secrets. I read about the co-op. Noble.
Luce.
Really? Her tone dripped condescension, the kind reserved for shelter volunteers at gala fundraisers. I waited, arms crossed,
For the ask.
It came wrapped in vulnerability. Harlan's team. They're painting me as the mastermind. I need your testimony. Say it was all him, that I was clueless. Clueless? The word ignited something feral. You want me to perjure for you? Again? She flinched, shades slipping to reveal red-rimmed desperation. It wasn't like that. I was young.
Scared.
You were always the strong one, taking hits for the team.
Team.
As if we'd been equals in that deposition room. Her weeping crocodile tears while I chained to the table. I stood, voice steady as rebar. Strong? I did time. Becca. Lost Mom's last months to visiting hours. And for what? Your TED Talk on resilience. She rose too. Fire sparking.
Oh. Please.
Victim much? You could have lawyered up. Fought it. But no. St. Lucy bears the cross. Pathetic enabler. The room tilted. Old rage surging like floodwater. Pathetic, the echo from that coupon night, now weaponized. I grabbed my phone, thumb hovering over the DA's line. One call, and your clueless act crumbles. She laughed, bitter and broken. Do it. Ruin me. But think, Mom's legacy? The family name? We're Hargroves, not headlines. She played the card masterfully, invoking our shared ghost, Dad's union pin on the mantel, Mom's quilt draped over the couch. For a heartbeat, I wavered, blood's pull. That Midwestern grit of keep it in the family. Then memory flashed, the prison yard. Chain-link fences blurring in Ohio heat. Me tracing her initials in the dirt. Whispering forgiveness to no one. No more. Out, I said, voice cracking like cheap plaster. She lingered, hand on the doorframe, whispering, I love you.
Luce.
Always have. Lies. Sweet as frosting. But I saw the flip, the micro-smirk, the exit strategy. She drove off in her leased Lexus, taillights fading into the dusk, leaving crumbs on my counter like deliberate defeat. That night, sleep evaded, I pored over trial briefs instead, highlighting her cameos in Harlan's ledgers. By dawn, I'd emailed my addendum to the DA, full context. No holds barred. She's no pawn, I wrote. She's the queen. The trial opened in July swelter. Cleveland's courthouse a coliseum of air-conditioned outrage. Reporters mobbed the steps. Mics thrusting like bayonets. MS.
Hargrove.
Motive for revenge. I stonewalled. Chin up. Channeling the women who'd mentored me in the co-op. Fierce. Unbowed. Inside, the gallery hummed with displaced families. Elena front row. Her glare a shield. Harlan took the stand first. Silver fox turned cornered wolf. Spinning yarns of rogue elements. Then Rebecca O. The performance. She glided in pencil skirt and pearls. Victim incarnate. Dabbing tears with a monogrammed hanky. I trusted Lucy implicitly, she testified, voice quivering. She volunteered the affidavit, said it'd help the family. Gasps rippled, the prosecutor objected, but damage bloomed. Jurors leaned in, faces splitting, sympathy for the poised blonde, skepticism for the con-shadow. My turn came sweltering afternoon, oath heavy as humidity. I faced her across the well, those eyes locking mine, pleading then promising hell. Tell the truth.
Yes.
Hargrove, the DA prompted. I did. Unspooling the night, her panic, my pen, the lies that layered like sedimentary rock. Exhibits flashed emails, voicemails, her voice booming from speakers. Undeniable. Whispers swelled. A juror, a burly guy in flannel, nodded slow. But Rebecca's cross-exam was vicious. Her lawyer a shark in pinstripes. Isn't it true?
Yes. Hargrove.
That prison radicalized you? That this testimony is payback for a perceived slight? He waved the book, her memoir. Shattered trust. Dog-eared for effect. Your sister writes of your volatility. Coupons as coping mechanism for deeper instabilities. The gallery tittered. Heat flushed my neck. Coupons reduced to pathology. My frugality a punchline in federal court. I held steady. Voice even. Stability? Try survival. While she wrote bestsellers, I clipped to eat. The judge banged gavel. But the seed planted doubt. Delicious for defense. Recess blurred into sidebar huddles. Elena squeezing my hand. You're cracking the facade. Keep swinging. Nights bled into strategy sessions at the co-op, pizza boxes piling as we mapped public pressure, rallies at Rebecca's old firm site, viral threads tagging her influencers. Make 'em choose, Elena urged. Sister or scam? Sides formed online. Team Rebecca trending with op-eds on female rivalry and cutthroat capitalism, countered by Lucy leaks exposing her donor lists. I became the face. Reluctant lightning rod. Podcasts probing. Was it justice or jealousy? August broke the dam. A juror, hold out for acquittal, leaked texts to Rebecca's camp, promising sisterly mercy. The judge declared mistrial on Harlan, but not before her perjury surfaced in sidebar docs. Feds swooped post-verdict, cuffing her in the lobby as cameras rolled, raw footage of poise shattering. Mascara rivers on marble floors. Lucy, she screamed over the scrum, eyes wild. You did this. I stood frozen, Elena's arm anchoring me, as squad cars swallowed her silhouette. Victory tasted metallic, like blood under tongue. But the high crashed hard. Harlan plea bargained, naming names but sparing her inner circle, whispers of a settlement, his millions buying silence. Rebecca's arraignment aired live. She pleaded not guilty. Bond posted by mystery donors, emerging to wave at fans like a fallen star. Letters flooded my P.O. box, hate mail calling me Judas in jeans, fan notes dubbing me Rust Belt Robin Hood. Doubt gnawed, had I toppled a tyrant or torched a tether. Mom's quilt wrapped my shoulders that night, threads frayed as faith. Forgive or don't. I chose the middle, watch. Wait. Wield the truth like a coupon. Small cuts. Deep savings. Fall foliage turned Cleveland crimson. A mockery of the blood we'd spilled in courtrooms and headlines. The co-op thrived on the chaos, grants pouring in from sympathetic foundations, hammers swinging to chants of build back, don't betray. Elena promoted me to foreman. Her grin gap-toothed and genuine. You're the spark.
Luce.
Keep the fire legal. But legality felt slippery. Anonymous tips warned of Rebecca's maneuvers from her ankle-monitored mansion, PR blitzes framing her as persecuted whistleblower, crowdfunding for innocent families torn by envy. Her podcast episodes dropped weekly, Sisters in Shadows, dissecting my obsession with psychoanalytic flair. Guest therapists nodding sagely. Listeners ate it up, downloads spiking. Merch selling tees emblazoned, forgive the fracture. I tuned in once. Masochistic in the truck's cab. Rain pattering the windshield like accusations. Her voice, polished anew, dissected us. Lucy's always been the martyr, clipping coupons not from poverty, but punishment. Self-flagellation for sins she never committed. Sins. The word twisted. She'd recast the narrative. Me the penitent, her the prodigal returned. Comments flooded. Poor Becca. Gaslit by her own blood. A viral clip showed her at a book signing. Fans hugging her like kin. One sobbing. You're so brave. Brave? I'd borne the bars. She bore the spotlight. Rage simmered. But Elena pulled me back. Don't engage. Starve the beast. Wise words. Yet the beast bayed louder. Subpoenas for my financials. IRS audits on co-op funds. Whispers of witness tampering. Thanksgiving loomed. That American ritual of forced gratitude. And the DA called. Plea incoming. Harlan's flipping full names you. Names her. But she wants a deal. Immunity for testimony against bigger fish. Bigger fish, city council cronies. Union bosses in Harlan's pocket. The offer? Rebecca walks on everything community service redux if she rats the machine. Your call. Lucy, the DA said. Voice neutral as newsprint. Victim input weighs heavy.
Victim.
The label chafed. I'd outgrown it. Or so I thought. Night's wrestling sheets. I tallied costs. Her freedom meant my chains loosened. But the scales tipped wrong. Justice diluted to slaps. Her sins laundered into leverage. I met her in neutral ground, a sterile conference room at the federal building. Plexiglass and fluorescent hum. She entered cuffed but composed. Hair in a chignon. Blouse crisp as fresh lies. Family reunion, she quipped, settling across the table. Chains clinking like commentary. No shades now. Her eyes were raw, stripped of artifice. Heard about the deal. You signing off. I shrugged, playing coy. Depends. What's in it for the truth? She leaned in, voice dropping conspiratorial. Everything.
Luce.
I sing. They fry. Harlan. The council. The whole rotten core. You get vindication. I get redemption. Redemption. The word hung, bait on a hook. She spun it masterful. Tales of regret. Therapy breakthroughs. Visions of us mending at beachside brunches. We're sisters. Blood wins over badges. But flips came swift, her gaze sharpening. Deal morphing to demand. Unless you block it. Then I go nuclear. Spill your secrets. Remember that summer '09? The shoplift at Target? You covered. But I kept the receipt. Blackmail. Vintage Rebecca. Dredging dirt from girlhood graves. My stomach nodded. That theft, lip gloss, and candy. Kid stuff had been my first sacrifice, her tears buying my silence. Leverage, she whispered, smiling sly. We all have files. Fury blinded. I slammed the table. Echoes booming. You think that's checkmate? I've got oceans more. Guards rushed. But not before her laugh, triumphant. Terrified, sealed the rift. I greenlit the plea. But twisted. Public hearing. Her confession broadcast. December court packed wall to wall. Families from the evictions filling benches. Elena's crew chanting soft outside. Rebecca took the stand. Script in hand. Voice steady. I coerce my sister. Lied under oath. Built on backs like hers. Applause rippled, cathartic, conflicted as she named names. Harlan's empire unraveling live. But the twist lurked in fine print. Her immunity carved carve-outs for personal actions, shielding the affidavit core. Post-hearing. She hugged me staged for cameras, whispers hot in my ear. See? I saved us both.
Saved?
The word soured. Raids followed. Arrests cascaded. But her penthouse stayed lit. Book tours booked. New Year's Eve. Co-op party pulsed with cheap champagne and hope. Kids painting murals of Phoenix neighborhoods. Elena pulled me aside. Eyes grave. Feds found something. In her servers. Your mom's will? Not just forged. Embezzled funds. She drained the estate pre-death. Funneled to Harlan for investments. Embezzlement. The final blade. Mom's chemo skipped for her condos. I retched in the alley. Snow melting on my face. Betrayal's depth plumbed endless. Not just crime, but cradle robbing our last tether. I confronted her dawn New Year's, banging on her gate till security buzzed me through. She answered in silk robe, hungover haze. Lucy, it's early for epiphanies. I thrust printouts, bank trails.
Mauvaise week-end signature.
This ends now. Full restitution. Or I leak to probate court. Her mask slipped shock. Then scheming smile.
Or.
We split it.
Sister's secret.
Harlan's going down. We rise together. The offer dangled. Partnership in her reformed firm. Me, the ethical face. Her the shadow strings. Power duo.
Luce.
Coupons for caviar. Temptation clawed. Wealth's whisper. Family facade restored. But Mom's eyes in photos watched. Judging. No, I said, voice steel. You fall alone. As I turned, her plea cracked. Wait. I did it for us, for the life Dad dreamed. Dream? He'd died broke. She'd cashed his ghost. I walked into the freeze, dialing the DA anew. Leaks hit by noon. Heiress embezzles dying mother's fortune. Stocks tanked. Donors fled. Her redemption arc torched. Yet victory veiled venom. Protests turned on me. Lucy the leaker, signs at co-op doors. Elena mediated. They're scared of the flood. Right it. But isolation crept. Friends distanced. Fearing fallout. Rebecca's final gambit aired prime time. Interview tearful. Claiming coerced confessions. Me the vindictive architect. Polls split. Viewers divided. Debates raging. Is she victim or villain?
Me.
Collateral in her chaos. Spring thawed secrets deeper. Anonymous package. USB with videos not hers,
but mine.
Prison yard confessions to a cellmate. Spilling Rebecca's role years back. Why'd you take the fall? The grainy voice asked. My answer. Young and shattered. Love. Stupid love. Leaked by her? Self-sabotage? It humanized me, but cracked the armor. Doubt flooding. Had I avenged or annihilated? Summer 26 scorched Cleveland like divine wrath. Humidity clinging as indictments piled. Rebecca's empire, what scraps remained, dissolved in asset freezes. Her reformed brand a punchline on late-night monologues. She vanished into pretrial limbo. House arrest upgraded to Supermax after a tampering charge, bribing a juror with consulting gigs. Harlan's trial. Sans her testimony. Collapsed in hung jury. But the machine ground on, councilmen pleading out. Unions purging rolls.
Elena's co-op ballooned.
Block grants forging community land trusts. My name etched in cornerstone concrete. Lucy Hargrove wing. The plaque red. Ironic halo on a haunted head. Yet peace evaded. Shadows lengthening with dusk. Nightmares looped. Rebecca's laugh in the visiting room. Mom's rasp on deathbed. Coupons fluttering like confetti at a funeral. Therapy helped pro bono sessions in a strip mall office. A shrink probing. Where's the line between justice and obsession?
Ideshuk. Denau.
Crossed it coupon by coupon. Progress stuttered. Trust fractured permanent. Dates fizzling at so. What's your story? My record faded with expungement. But scars scrawled deeper. Cynicism script. Reading family optional. Rebecca's sentencing hit September. Courthouse sweltering despite AC strains. Gallery overflowed. Victims can glaring. Her few allies dabbing eyes. She stood unbowed in orange jumpsuit. Hair pulled severe. No pearls now. Judge's gavel fell heavy. 10 years federal. Restitution tripled. No parole early. MS. Hargrove, he intoned. Your manipulations eroded more than fortunes. They fractured the Republic's faith. She scanned the crowd. Locking on me last, eyes not hateful, but hollow. Lucy, she mouthed. Silent plea or curse. As marshals led her away. A ripple, not cheers, but murmurs. Split verdict in hearts, some seeing reckoning. Others tragedy of fallen ambition. Post-hearing, the twist uncoiled like barbed wire. DA's office called. One more file. From her effects, letter to you. Mailed pre-trial. Unsealed now. I read it in the co-op office.
Elena hoveringanxias.
Rebecca's script. Looping elegant. Loose, if you're reading this. I lost.
Deserved?
Maybe. But know this, the affidavit? I didn't just forge Mom's will. I confessed to her. That July night. She made me promise. Let Lucy choose her path. I chose for her, thinking I'd shield us both. Pride, not malice. The embezzlement? Cancer meds for you. Hidden in investments, your asthma flares. Remember? I lied to keep you breathing, then lied to keep it mine. Forgive?
No.
Understand?
Try.
Love. The sister you saved twice. Breath caught. World tilting. Mom knew, chose silence to force my agency. Rebecca's protection, a cage of control. The funds? My inhalers. Yes, childhood gasps in winter chills, but twisted into her empire's mortar. No innocence, but nuance, betrayal laced with bone-deep care. Villainy veined with virtue. I crumpled the page. Tears hot grief for what-ifs. Rage for the theft of choice. Elena read over my shoulder, whistling low. Twisted as kudzu. What now? Now? I burned the letter in a coffee can behind the co-op. Ashes scattering on autumn gusts. No reply. No visit. Silence my final coupon. Redeemed for closure. Rebecca appeals from cell block. Book sequel brewing. Caged confessions. I tune out. Clipping deals on solar panels instead. Co-op going green. Powering futures unshadowed. The room's tone, forever altered. From mockery's shrill to reckoning's hush. Readers, you judge. Was her love lie or lifeline? My revenge right or ruin? In America's grind, no heroes, just survivors stacking wins. One frugal fold at a time. Epilogue whispers in quiet moments, a postcard from her. Postmarked Leavenworth. Blank but stamped heart. I pin it beside Mom's photo. Threads weaving loose ends. Family? Fractured mosaic. Beauty in breaks. I live free, thrifty. Tenacious. Unbowed. The deal that changed everything? It bought not just justice,
But me.